Coco Chanel once said, "Fashion is not something that exists in dresses only. Fashion is in the sky, in the street. Fashion has to do with ideas, the way we live, what is happening." And now, advancements in technology are poised to bridge that very gap. Every single one of us, armed with our laptops and smartphones, are ready and able to make their contributions to the zeitgeist. We saw it happen last September when fashion editors were invited to the launch of the brand new Apple Watch, or when Google teamed up with sunglasses brand Luxottica to design a new range of its glassware, or the continued integration of technology into the physical shop space that has seen brands embrace innovation through augmented reality software. The company FitsMe, for example, is a leading provider of virtual fitting room solutions that sees clothing photographed on robotic mannequins, thus allowing shoppers to try items on virtually, meaning they can try on every single size and every single garment with just a few clicks. Or even the development of smart fabrics that is able to detect the presence of certain pollutants, most prominently seen in sportswear apparel manufacture, with industry leaders such as Nike and Adidas, who have been looking at embedding sensors that connect to smartphones to give a more complete picture of someone's training regime or real-time health. But despite a recognition that technology needs to engage with fashion lifestyle, we're still waiting for fashion to embrace technology and innovation in a truly meaningful way. Arguably, Apple has not created anything unique in terms of technical innovation. Aside from performance-orientated wearable products, we're not seeing an intrusion of technology that is influencing design methodology and thereby having a meaningful impact on the way we think about clothing. Even the majority of high fashion brands have been slow to adapt to new technologies, many of whom do not even have a transactional online website. Instead, there needs to be a redevelopment of everything, from design methodology to material and form to distribution and production. Technology needs to turn the entire industry inside out. After all, I don't necessarily want technologies that integrate with my body, telling me how many steps I have taken or lighten up my jacket. Instead, I want clothing and accessories that make my body do and feel things that I never thought I was capable of. But most of all, I want innovations in technology to influence how those clothing and accessories are made. Next to labour conditions, water usage is a critical aspect of the industry. The production of 1 kilogram of cotton, enough for just one pair of jeans, requires an average of 8,000 litres of water, and the dyeing of 1 kilogram of textile requires approximately 150 litres of water. The pace or success of the digital revolution, then, should not be measured by whether your favourite store is Wi-Fi compatible and has large LED screens, or whether you can scan a QR code inside a Vogue magazine. Instead, it has to change not only our approach, but also our thinking. And this is a conversation that is just not happening in fashion right now. We say innovations taking place at the intersection of fashion and technology are profoundly amazing and transformative, and many of them are, but the fashion industry today bears more resemblance to the one decades ago more than we like to think. For example, quality apparel tailored to our individual bodies and needs is still reserved for the wealthy who can afford couture. The rest of us merely have to make do with the high street's ill-fitting garments that quote a generalised size 10, but fit nothing of the like. Even ready-to-wear is mass-produced in a limited size range. And so, legendary businessman Peter Drucker once famously said, "Trying to predict the future is like trying to drive down a country road at night with no lights on while looking out the back window." And he's right. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and predict that with increasing depletion in natural resources, unethical manufacture processes, yet increasing demand for newer fashion, something will have to change. And as resources become scarce, it will be the ingenuity of technology that will have a strong hand in changing the face of fashion. Of course, the answer may not have arrived just yet, but 3D printing has. Expected to be a $3.1 billion industry by 2016, and a $5.2 billion industry by 2020, affordable 3D printing has the power to bring about transformative change, especially of the sustainable manufacture process. Not only cutting down on prototyping and waste, but also on transportation emissions. For example, around 20% of the output of 3D printers is now final products rather than prototypes, which is just incredible. Once further developed and perfected, everyone will have the ability to print out a garment that is tailored to his or her specification and measurements. It is couture at home. Of course, fashion brands will have to adapt to this, with the subject of trademark infringement and copyright an important one. But it will also inevitably bring about an evolution of a whole new fashion industry. How will an industry where value is communicated by exclusivity and craft cope within this new space? It will no longer be about exclusion, but rather about individualization and co-creation. Factories too, which have become a toxic nightmare, combining all the problems of industrial farming with industrial manufacturing, will experience a shift in core working processes and values. With the ability to get a product to market faster and at a reduced cost, we should ask ourselves, is this the ideal middle ground between ethical and fast fashion? Not only that, but the digital design process using synthetic biology can also flourish into an artistic medium, thus nourishing a whole generation of young creatives and potential Alexander McQueens. For example, 3D printed clothing and accessories made record appearances on the runways in 2014, from Pringle of Scotland with their laser-sintered nylon technique to Victoria's Secret's collaboration with Swarovski and Shapeways for their accessories. Showing us silhouettes we never imagined, this conflict of mediums will allow us to explore new capabilities. Technology will expand what we can do, what we can make, and how. If we want this industry to keep evolving, to truly integrate itself into the streets, into the skies, and into our ideas, like Coco Chanel said, we need to use technology to produce more contrast and continue to show us the unseen. Technology and innovation within fashion, then, cannot be viewed as a passing trend, like skinny ripped jeans or a wearable fitness band. It has to be a fundamental restructuring of the way this business is done. And so, the truly successful fashion brands of tomorrow will be those that can not only recognise and cope with the pace of change, but embrace it. They will be aware of both the mega trends and the micro trends in our industry, and will be flexible enough to strategically act on them with bold conviction.